Welcome back to the Final Shot Podcast. Today the podcast is brought to you by Buds and Leaves. Buds and Leaves is a full-service licensed dispensary in Vic West. They can service you for all your medical needs for medicinal marijuana, CBD. I use the Buddha Stick. This is a CBD extract topical cream / stick. It's kind of like a deodorant thing. I use the Smile Spray. The Smile Spray is fantastic. It's discreet. You can spray it in your mouth on the street. Nobody knows what the fuck you're doing. And the CBD pills. I love these things. I take them before bed. And if you want to get real fucking crazy, you can get some of that dry herb too, and you can roll yourself a fat little joint, and you can get higher than giraffe pussy. But if you want to get that stuff, make sure you got a medical marijuana card, and you go over to the www.budsandleaves.com and check them out. We're also brought to you by Monster Headphones. They're the best headphones in the business. Go over to www.monsterstore.com and check out the selection of headphones that they have. I have the iSport Clarities, I have the iClarities. I have the iSport over-the-ear ones, and I have the iSport earbuds. Now, I personally like the iSport ones because you can sweat in them, and they're kind of like sweat-proof. So, you can fucking work out in them, run. I wouldn't recommend jumping in the pool with them on. You might hurt yourself, but go over and get some Monster headphones. www.monsterstore.com. We are also brought to you by Box Runner Shoes. They're the best boxing shoes in the business. They're lightweight, durable. You can use these fucking things outside to do CrossFit, run in them. And they got the best ankle support in boxing. Ankle support is key in boxing. Pivoting and all that kind of stuff. You need good ankle support. We're also brought to you by Onnit. You guys go over to www.onnit.com and go check out the Onnit 6. The Onnit 6 is a bunch of workouts that you can do in a half an hour in your own home and get fucking shredded. And while you're doing the Onnit 6, you might as well jump on a keto diet and try out the Keto Box. All the stuff that's in the Keto Box is selected by Aubrey Marcus and Brendan Schaub from the Fighter and the Kid podcast, former UFC fighter. And they're the best keto products that you can get on the market today. And they package them all in one box so you guys can try them. So you sign up as a monthly subscription type deal. I do know that they ordered 1,000 keto boxes. The 1,000 sold out. They ordered another 1,500. And there's only about 200 of those left, so head over to www.onnit.com and get yourself a keto box. Today's going to be a little bit of a different kind of show. I didn't book a guest today. I wanted to try to do this on my own and talk to myself and see kind of how it would go. We had a big fight on the weekend. Manny Pacquiao stepped back in the ring. This motherfucker's had so many goddamn fights, it's not even funny. But he stepped back in the ring and took on the WBA welterweight champion, and ended up finishing him in 7 rounds with a nice uppercut. Now Manny looked fucking great in this fight. Whether it was Manny looking great in the fight or it was his opponent making him look great, I don't know. I wasn't in the ring, but he looked real good. He was patient, fast. He had good footwork, good power. He knocked him down in the 3rd round and the 5th, I believe. But good fight for Manny. Congratulations to him. Another world champ. The guy's won so many goddamn world titles now, it's not even funny. Well, I'm sitting here in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. It is hotter than fuck. It's not even nice right now. And I'm in training camp. And whenever I enter something like a training camp or where I decide I'm going to lose a bunch of weight, I always get fucking sick. So right now I'm dealing with one of these summer colds, and it's wreaking havoc on my lungs, which kind of sucks. I've been coughing up a lot of phlegm and shit. So you're going to hear me or see me on YouTube drinking a fuckload of water today because I'd like to get rid of this thing. Now, the reason I wanted to do the show by myself today is I've got notes because I can't remember all the shit that people ask me. But I wanted to answer. I want to answer some questions that people have asked me, and they're fairly relevant to what's going on today in combat sports, I guess. But it's hard for me to get through the questions with a guest. And I think I'd like to start doing the show a little bit more on my own without having to rely on a guest coming in and all that kind of stuff all the time. So there was an incident that happened between Brendan Schaub and Dana White where there was some tweets or some Instagrams or some shit where Brendan Schaub had kind of he jumped to Francis Ngannou's defense where he was saying that Francis needs a pep talk from the boss, not for Dana to be shit talking him. Now I'm trying to pull up. I think it was on Instagram that I seen it, but it got pretty heated pretty quick. Brendan Schaub. So Dana had said that Brendan doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and that he had a shitty MMA career. Realistically, he did not have a shitty MMA career. He was in the top 10 in the world for a long time. So, yeah, basically Dana said that Brendan doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's a bad business person and whatnot, which, if you guys listen to The Fighter, the Kid, the Below the Belt podcast that he does now, which is done by Showtime, which is on Showtime as well. He's doing pretty fucking good. And he's got a good stand-up career where he's selling out places all over the world. But this is what Brennan wrote back to him. He said, "This is hilarious. Yes, Joe Rogan is one of my best friends and has played a significant role in my post-fight career. No doubt you're right about that, DW." Darkwing Duck. 2 TV shows, sold-out worldwide comedy tour, 2 successful podcasts, and just booked my first major movie. I didn't know that. Good for you. Super grateful. However, if it weren't for the Fertitas loading your ass or loaning your ass millions of dollars, I'd say loading your ass. It was loaning your ass millions of dollars to invest into an idea that wasn't yours from the start, you wouldn't be shit. How's it feel now once the real businessmen / brains left the UFC and has been a shell of itself with you at the forefront? You've tried it all. The CM Punk experiment, begging for Brock to come back, and praying for the next Connor text to come in. Tough job to do when Lorenzo without... Brendan, you gotta fucking learn how to write. Tough job to do without Lorenzo holding your hand, making sure you don't mess it all up. Can't feel good. You'd be a cardio kickboxing coach in Boston in your late 40s hoping to grab a ticket for my stand-up front row if Lorenzo Fertitta didn't save your ass. Also, this is no way... this is no way Eskimo brothers should talk to one another. Last warning. Brendan did address the situation again on his podcast Below the Belt, where the first 10 minutes of the show he talked about what happened. And then they kind of got off that topic. Then he went back on the topic again for another fucking 45 minutes. And then he first said he wasn't going to shit talk, and then he kind of shit talked. He wasn't insinuating that Dana White was a bad guy. I think he was insinuating that that fighters usually don't have a great relationship with Dana White as their boss, because Dana White runs his company through fear tactics. And it worked up until a certain point. And I have to agree with Brendan on what he said. Do I think that something needs to change in the UFC to get it back to where it was? 100%. The UFC is a shell of its former self. Like in the heydays when Chuck Liddell and Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz were all around, those were the best days in MMA. Now, did they have the skill that the guys do now? No. The guys that are in the game now are so much better than what they were even 5 years ago. But they don't have the proper marketing behind them. So they're trying to build superstars with like Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey's, and Brock Lesnar's. But these guys, They did it themselves. Brock Lesnar's a fucking freak of nature. He could walk down the street and take a shit and he'd be a superstar. He's fucking huge. And he's athletic. He's a Division One wrestler that was in the WWE doing fake wrestling for God knows how long. People love him. Ronda Rousey, she got famous by talking shit and armbarring the shit out of people and breaking arms. Conor McGregor got famous by running his mouth. Now, if Conor never ran his mouth and he just was in the UFC knocking fools out, would he have been as famous as he is now, getting a $100 million Floyd Mayweather fight? No. So, these people come along once in a generation. And I don't think that a company can make somebody go to that kind of stardom through their marketing. I think the fighter has to do it themselves. But that's neither. Who the fuck am I to talk, right? But really, Brendan Schaub, I don't think he actually harbors any resentment towards Dana White. I think Dana's a bit of a spaz, and speaks off the cuff a lot. So hopefully they can figure it out, or not figure it out. I actually don't give a shit. If they want to keep arguing online, that's a great day for me. I love watching it. What was the next thing? Brock Lesnar and DC. We've kind of talked about this on the last episode with Luke Spicer. DC right now is the greatest of all time, not on steroids. John Jones is probably the greatest fighter of all time that stepped into the octagon. But as for the new rule set with USADA, DC, George St. Pierre, and I have to throw Conor McGregor in there. There's a ton of guys. Anderson's on steroids, so he can't even go in there anymore. But the man to get in there and do it all so far has been DC. He's held 2 titles in 2 different weight classes simultaneously. He's defended the light heavyweight title I don't know how many times. But then when he beats Stipe Miocic, he knocks out Stipe Miocic in the first round. And Brock Lesnar enters the ring like it's some kind of rip-off of WWF fucking Saturday Night Entertainment or some bullshit. And he puts his hands on Daniel Cormier. And he's yelling at the security staff because they're touching him. Excuse me, sir, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Now, Brock Lesnar got in there, disrespected the whole heavyweight division. Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic, and Lord knows whoever. He said they're shit. I hate to tell you, Brock Lesnar, you're not the greatest fighter of all time either. Sure, you got good wrestling, and you're a massive individual that can lay on top of people and drop fucking fists the size of toasters on their face. But Cain Velasquez beat the shit out of you. Alistair Overeem's beat the shit out of you. You took a fight with Mark Hunt and tested positive for steroids and then got banned by USADA. Would I like to see Brock Lesnar compete off of steroids? 100%, because I think he's a shell of himself. Now, if he's going to fight Daniel Cormier not on steroids, he's in a whole hell of a lot of trouble. On steroids, it's not a bad fight. So, do I like the fight between them? No, because it doesn't make fucking sense. Oh, back on the Dana White shit. I mentioned fear tactics, so he shit talked Francis Ngannou. Sorry, I forgot to mention this stuff. He got Ariel Helwani kicked off of the Floyd Mayweather fight thing. For what reason, I don't know. He just hates him for some reason. I don't know why. And Robin Black has an Instagram page where he did these 1-minute breakdowns. Now, the UFC has gone and taken possession of that page and deleted it. Come on. If anything, Robin Black's trying to help the sport. And you guys you're taking away free publicity. You don't pay that fucking guy. The best thing you could do is take his 1-minute breakdowns, send him a message and say, we're putting these on UFC.com because people need to see them. You just got a free breakdown from probably the best guy in the business to break down a fight. What else we got? Our guy, Kevin the Soul Assassin Ross, he fought in Bellator against Canadian Gabriel Varga, and Kevin put his title on the line. Unfortunately, Kevin didn't do so great in the fight. He got knocked out on his feet by Gabriel in the first round, and Gabriel Varga went on to win the Bellator kickboxing title. Good for him. Congratulations, Gabriel. We have had both those guys on the Spice of Life podcast, and Kevin Ross was guest of the year. But hey, we still support Kevin. He's a fucking fantastic guy. People want to know what I'm doing for Fight Camp. Fight Camp is a different animal. Now, I don't ever really stop doing anything. Like when I had knee surgery, I had to stop for a while, like a month, and take time off, and then get back. And I was still in the gym with a fucking knee brace on, like one of those ones that go from your dick to your ankle, and my leg stuck perfectly straight. And I was still trying to do things. I don't ever really stop, but Fight Camp is different. Everyday life and training is I kind of eat and cheat and do whatever I want to a certain extent. Fight Camp, at 35 years old, I gotta watch what I eat, and I really gotta watch what I do. Like, I have to remember that I'm not 20 years old anymore, and if I fall down and stub my toe at 35, I'm gonna be all right. But if I hyperextend my elbow or my shoulder goes out, I got some work to do to get that shit back together. So I really watch at this point what I'm putting in my body. I watch my water intake, make sure I'm well hydrated. I warm up a lot. I spend a lot of time warming up, like 30 minutes, just to get my body moving. Running sucks. I hate running. It's got to be the most boring thing on the planet. But it's got to be done. I like to go to the workout gym, and I like to get on the elliptical machine, and I like walking on an incline. It does, I don't know. I get a real good burn in my calves for it, and I don't have a problem staying on my toes for 10 or 15 rounds at the gym. So I like to do those things, and it tends to shed the weight off me pretty good. After knee surgery, I was about 243 pounds. I'm down to 214, 215 on a bad day. But we're going to hang around like right about that weight. Because for me to put on 5 pounds is fairly easy to compete at heavyweight. And then to go down to cruiserweight, it's not a terrible chore for me to cut back on some of the food that I ingest and get down to the 200-pound mark. That's fairly simple. But other than that, Fight Camp's going good. I've got some people around me that help out. I'm able to make phone calls to people, talk to people, get them to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing. I do live in a small town, so bodies is usually hard to find. So I'm going to have to start traveling out and finding some bodies that I can put my hands on. But so far, so good. Everything's going well. I'm not hurt. And that goes right into the next question. My trip to Calgary. A lot of people seen that I took off to Calgary. I had to go and pick up a note from my surgeon that I could give to my doctor here. I had to go there physically because he wanted to check my knee and make sure it was solid. And so I could get signed off that I could get a fit to fight note. I got it, which is fantastic, so I'm good to fight, which is great. But while I was in Calgary, I got to stop in and see one of my good friends, Steve the Dragon Claggett. He's getting ready for, the IBF Intercontinental title fight. So right now, Steve has the North American IBF Intercontinental, or IBF title, and now he's going for the Intercontinental. So he's taking a step up in the IBF rankings and challenging for that. So that's fucking great. And Steve's always fantastic to talk to, so I stopped into the Southpaw gym, and I seen him, and we got to hang out for a little bit, which was always, it's always fun talking with Steve. Next question was Devin Reddy. Excuse me. Devin Reddy and, well, it's more of Devin Reddy's dad and Lino Santoro have been going back and forth at each other. And Lino's been doing some Facebook Live videos about Devin and his dad, which is all good. Devin, I don't really know. It was just Devin Reddy, question mark. So Devin Reddy's a boxer for Dakota. He's 10-0. Somebody dubbed him as the next Canelo, which is a little ridiculous. But so was calling Michael Short Mr. Boxing. That's pretty fucking stupid, too. Way to go, TSN fan 960. Uh, Devin Reddy says he wants to compete with Flavio Michel and Rafael Santoro. Those fights don't go real great for Devin. Now, are they going to put Rafi and Devin in a fight right now against each other, 10-0 against 3-0? Probably not. But Flavor Flav, he's free game. But realistically, Devin, Flavio will take you out within 3 rounds. You can't take his punches. You're not slick enough. You do a couple of things good, but listen, you're a great guy. I like you, but don't fight Flav. It won't turn out great. Um, as many of you know, we do have a regular segment on here. It's called 10 Minutes with the Boogeyman, Adam Braidwood. People want to know where the Boogeyman is. So, a little while ago, Adam went over to Quebec and competed in a fight against Simon Keane. It didn't go his way. Unfortunately, some extenuating circumstances happened before the fight, and I'm going to accumulate the loss to that. Now, Adam's laying a little bit low. He got a real good cut above his eye. That has to heal. Are we going to see him soon? 100%. Is he going to come back better than ever? 100%. We took a little bit of time off the show to reassess. We want to see. Listen, we can't chase people all the time and pick fights. We could, I guess, but it's not a great look. The reason we did it with Simon Keane is Simon Keane was number one. Now, Simon Keane has competed in the Olympics. He's been around for a really long time. His pedigree of boxing is there. Adam's realistically been around for a couple of years, at least in the boxing scene. We all know him from the Edmonton Eskimos or his extracurricular activities. But Simon was a big step up in competition. Adam wanted that fight a year ago, right after the Eric Martel fight, because Simon talked shit about him, which is all good. That's how we usually get business done around here. But yeah, Adam's laying low. We're gonna take some time off the show, and he'll be back. Trust me, he'll be back. Yes, Adam and I are still friends. We're still very, very close. We talk every day, so nobody's got to worry about that. Some people were very worried about Dario swimming in the canal with alligators. I'm not going to lie, I was worried. I don't know why it would possess that young man to jump into the canal with a floaty where it's infested with fucking alligators. Really? I think he needs to fight. He needs to get his ass back to Montreal where there's less things that can kill you, and get back in the ring. I think he's bored. And hanging out with Anthony Chiappetta is not the greatest fucking idea of all time. That guy's fucking crazy. So, yeah, Dario, let's stay out of the alligator infested canals. Like, go chase some armadillos around or something. They've got to be at least a little bit less. They can't hurt you, I don't think. And stay away from the fucking geese. My relationship with Luke Spicer. The thing with Luke Spicer, it's different. I haven't known Luke all that long, to tell you guys the truth. I've known Luke for 3 or 4 years. I first met him when a mutual friend of ours, Ryan Mahan, was getting ready for a fight. He wanted us all to come in and do some sparring with him. So Luke and I, we did some rounds against each other, which were good. Luke was not in the best of shape, but he's got skills. So they didn't go great for him, let's be honest. But that's where our friendship started, was there. And then I talked him out of training at this karate-esque kind of kickboxing place where he was before, and coming down to Arashido and training with me and Advin Olmec and Ryan and all the guys that were there in Red Deer. I got him to do that. We got a new sparring partner out of it who was good, and the relationship escalated from there. Then I got hurt, and I blew my knee. And I didn't really know what to do with myself while I was laying around, so I wanted to start a podcast. He had expressed some interest in the podcast before, and I realistically just went out and got some microphones and a laptop, and we went at it. Now, we've been close over the past few years, where there's life advice exchanged and serious talks and funny talks and all that kind of shit. But when Luke left the Spice of Life podcast and we dissolved that show, our relationship basically tapered off to nothing. Where we'll get a text message here and there, or phone call, which is all good, man. Like, we're not dating. I don't need to fucking let you know. I don't give a shit. He's busy with work. He's got a new girlfriend that's moved into his house. They've got some extra mouths to feed around there. That's all good. They're wondering why we don't talk. It's one of those things. People grow apart sometimes. It doesn't mean we're not friends. And I know some of you were upset about that friendships are like seasons thing, which is sometimes Luke just speaks out of his ass. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm sorry. If anybody wants me to punch him in the face, I will. You just send me over a thing, and I will punch him directly in the face. What else we got? Small town living. I've been asked a few times how I liked living in a small town. I actually really enjoy living in a small town because I don't like people. It might be hard to imagine, maybe because I talk to a lot of people. But yeah, I don't like people very much. They piss me off, especially traffic. I get fucking irritated. So I do enjoy small town living. Now, the downside to small town living is if I want to compete, I'm going to have to travel to go get sparring. I can get in work here. That's fine. But sparring is a different story. I'm going to have to go up to Saskatoon and hunt down Gary Kopis, or go to Edmonton to get in rounds with some guys, which is fine. But that's the only downside so far, and maybe living beside my wife's sister. That's kind of a pain in the ass, too. My nephew's always over here harassing me, causing shit. But other than that, I enjoy the small town living. I like that. Where did HD Derek come from? That's a good question. So I went into the Swift Current Boxing Academy, and I started training in there. And then it came out that I had a podcast, and Derek is kind of like a website builder, online marketer type dude. And he started listening to the show. He wanted to get involved. So I needed help at the point. Like, Luke wasn't doing fuck all. So I needed help. I don't know how to make videos. I don't know how to do any of that shit. It was a hard enough learning curve for me to be able to come and produce a podcast with not knowing how to do it. And then the demand for content on the internet is very high. And I can't turn out just myself the amount of material that needs to be turned. I realistically don't think we turn out enough material now. But I cannot turn out the material quick enough or as good as quality as Derek can do it. So I don't pay him. So that's kind of where Derek came into play. He enjoys doing it. Sometimes I yell at him because he's late on shit. But I have a hard time yelling at somebody or giving somebody shit when I don't pay them to do it. So whenever he gets around to doing the stuff, I'm usually very grateful to him for for doing that kind of stuff. He's very involved in the gym where we're at. He comes in every day to train. Is he the most athletic guy on the planet? Fuck no. The guy's fucking 41 and he has red hair. Like, you don't get more unathletic than that. Gingers are notoriously fucking unathletic. I actually don't know if that's true, but this guy is. So shout out to Derek for all the hard work he does. Who will be in my corner for my fight? Now, we haven't inked a fight yet. We're working on a couple people for September 7th. Hopefully that can go through. Who will be in my corner? I have no fucking idea. Scotty Olsen is a guy that I have a lot of respect for, and it hurts my feelings a lot when we have these. Scotty's in the legendary category in boxing, in my opinion. When we have these fucking legends that everybody forgets about, like this guy's a world champion. He defended a world title 5 times. Yeah, maybe he's only 5'3" and 120 pounds or whatever the fuck he fought at. But he's still a world champion, and he's Canadian. He went to the Olympics. He won the Commonwealth Games. So Scotty Olsen would be a guy that I would ask to come in my corner out of respect, and I'd like to see him walk down. I'd like to see him walk out one more time. Maybe not with gloves on, but I'd like to see him. I think that would be a good day for him. Lino Santoro has expressed his wish to be in my corner. I don't know if that's going to happen. The other guy I would ask would be Ryan the Real Deal Ford if he's in town to be in my corner. I've known Ryan for a really long time. We've done rounds together. We've put in work together. He would be another guy I would ask, and if Adam Braidwood would be around, I would have him in my corner 100%. But other than that, there's nobody set yet. I haven't asked anybody because realistically, I don't have an opponent. Not having an opponent is a weird thing because a lot of people fuel off of the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel it could be anything. It could be a pizza on Friday. It could be you're going to get $20 when you're done this, or the light at the end of the tunnel for me to get into shape is to walk to the ring again and get to compete. So, am I going to get into fight shape for September 7th? 100%. That's going to happen. Because maybe if the fight doesn't happen September 7th, if something pops up in September or October. And then if I'm not in shape for that, then I can't take it. So it's one of those things where you got to stay ready and then get in there and just do the damn work. But yeah, we're going to get ready for September 7th. Hopefully that can go through. And we'll get to business. Bad Guy Boxing stuff. A lot of you people like the Bad Guy Boxing hats. If you want to buy them, just go over to www.finalshoppodcast.com and go to the store. You can buy all the Bad Guy stuff there. We got shirts. We got a whole bunch of shit. The fuck is this? Oh, people sending me fucking emails. Yeah, you can go over to finalshoppodcast.com and go to the store, and you can buy all the Bad Guy Boxing stuff. You can get the Purple Hell hat. You can get I don't have the shirt in here, but we do have shirts that are ready, the Bad Guy Boxing stuff with the logo on the back of the shirt that Daniel Redfern did. What else we got? We got lots of hats. There's lots of different. We got the Boogeyman hats. We got red ones now, too. We got black and white. Shit, look at that. 3 Boogeyman hats right in a row, right there. Those are all the ones we got. We got the red and black Bad Guy Boxing hats. With the black and gold ones. Which I don't even have a black and gold one anymore because you fuckers bought them all. Which is great. I'll just order another one. It's all good. But yeah, finalshoppodcast.com. Go to the store. Where did the Bad Guy moniker come from? The Bad Guy moniker was given to me by Dennis Herman, who is the other promoter for Dakota Boxing. Dennis is a former professional wrestler where he gets into the storylines. He likes to create a story with what's going on. Hence the Jesse Arnett call out of Rafi Santoro, the Jesse Arnett fight against Brian Samuel was a good story at the time because Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor were going on. But so the bad guy moniker came from we did a thing for Dakota where we brought the opponents, like the two people that were going to fight, we brought them on the Spice of Life podcast and they could hash it out on there and talk. So we had Rob Nichols and David Whittam, rest his soul. Poor David. He passed away. But we had both those guys on there. And Rob Nichols he's a mild-mannered, quiet kind of guy. Where Michael Short had put David Whittam up to trying to talk shit with Rob on the podcast, which is fucking, that's all good. I don't care. But you got to be good at it at least, or at least put some effort into it. But David pissed me off so bad that I went on like a social media tear shit talking this guy. And Dakota actually pitted us against each other where we were going to have this massive grudge match. And then I was scheduled to fight Markel Wedderburn. And I had to go have knee surgery, so that fight obviously never happened. Where was I? Oh, the bad guy moniker. So with the amount of shit that I talked, he said I reminded him of Razor Ramon or something like that. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he called me the bad guy. So we just we ran with the bad guy nickname. It works, and we're not changing it. So fuck it. We're the bad guy. A lot of people ask me what happened with the fallout with Dakota. I had a good relationship with Mike and Dennis, just from them coming on the show and talking and whatnot, and they handled the fallout from me not fighting on their card. Well, I actually helped them with it. I actually found them a replacement opponent, and then that replacement ended up pulling out. But that's not my fault. But so we showed up to do press for Dakota for the Jesse Arnett Brian Samuel fight, and it was right after the whole Tim Hague thing. So it was a sensitive time, like literally a week. So it was a real sensitive time, and we have I'm really really close with Mel Lubovic from KO Boxing. We're so close that I call her my second wife. I talk to her a couple times a day, and we're pretty close. We just don't talk about boxing. Like she calls my wife her sister wife. So Jesse Arnett and Brian Samuel are in the ring, and they finish the fight, and Jesse Arnett is named the winner, which is all good. I thought Jesse won. So Michael Short is just fucking fired up that the MMA guy came in and beat not fired up angry, fired up happy that the MMA guy came in and beat the boxer. So who was it? Jeremy Ballantyne asked Luke and I to get in the ring for some pictures, which is all good. So Luke and I, we jump in the ring and we start taking pictures. And as we're taking pictures, Michael Short's talking shit about how his boxing card was a real event and the matches were all even and none of that shit that happened at KO would ever happen on a Dakota card. So when you start talking shit about KO Boxing and Mel is when I get my back up and then I go on the offensive. Right? The best defense with words is a good offense. So I didn't say anything to him to his face. I let him have his moment and finish out his night. But what you can't let that fly. Like if somebody said something about your mother or your sister, you're gonna go back at them. So I retaliated because Mel, she's not going to do nothing. She just sit there and laugh about it. She think it's funny. I didn't think it was funny. So I went back at Michael Short and kind of put him in his place. He didn't like that very much, and then he shit talked me to a bunch of promoters, which is, it is what it is. Listen, if they want to know about me, I ain't hard to find. I ain't hard to get a hold of. You can call me on the phone. You can email me. I'm very active on social media. I ain't hard to find. Michael Short, probably behind the scenes at home, I bet you he's a great guy. Michael Short, the promoter, is a fucking douchebag. Most promoters are. But that's where the fallout with Dakota and myself came from, was the shit talk towards KO Boxing and Mel. We don't have that. We have a very close relationship with KO. We cover everything that they do, and I ain't having that. It's not like I can go up and punch Michael Short in the face. He's like fucking 109. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do, so I just shit talked him. He didn't like that. Where is Dario? I don't know. Dario made a comeback 2 weeks ago and then has been fucking radio silent towards me for the last 2 weeks. So I have no idea where he's playing around with Anthony Chiappetta. I seen on Instagram the other day they got the same pair of shoes, fucking queers. But so I put an Instagram post out and I said, Dario, where the fuck are you? You're missing. We need Song of the Week. But the real deal stepped up. Ryan Ford, he stepped up and gave us Song of the Week. So Song of the Week this week is Bring It Out by DJ Esco. You can download it on iTunes. We will add it to the playlist on our iTunes thing, the Final Shot playlist. I don't know what's gonna happen with training camp. So I'm in the gym a lot. I'm doing a lot more shit than I'm used to doing. So I'm gonna still try to do the 2 shows a week. Whether they're going to be an hour, I can't guarantee that. Whether it's going to be a half an hour or 20 minutes, I'm still going to put something out there that can kind of keep the ship going the right way. But talking to myself, I guess we'll address the Lino Santoro stuff too. Talking to myself for 45 minutes is kind of tough, for an hour. Well, I think I did an all right job. Some people asked some questions about Lino Santoro and the talk with Boxing Alberta. I don't know anything about amateur boxing in Alberta. I know amateur boxing is a shit show, and it's run by corrupt corporate yuppies that kind of milk it. Like, amateur boxing is a very lucrative sport where the athletes don't get any of the money. So Lino has been involved with amateur boxing in Alberta. I know from good sources that the stuff he's been saying as of recent are truthful and they're not lies. So he issued a challenge to anybody from Boxing Alberta to come on his show and debate him. I look forward to seeing if that happens, but probably won't. It's fucking Lino, man. Lino's crazy. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I got some things to do. I got a barbecue to build today. Our barbecue shit the bed. So I'm gonna venture outside and try to put this thing together in 40-degree weather. But again, Song of the Week, guys. Esco or DJ Esco, Bring It Out. We're brought to you. The podcast is brought to you by Buds and Leaves. www.budsandleaves.com. Get yourself a Buddha stick. Get yourself some CBD capsules. Get yourself the Smile spray. Guys, follow these guys on the gram too. It's at Buds and Leaves or at Smile Canada, I believe. Or get yourself some of that fucking Snoop Dogg shit. You can go over there and get higher than giraffe pussy. Boom. Budsandleaves.com. We're also brought to you by Monster Headphones. They're the best headphones in the business. Go to www.monsterstore.com. Get yourself a pair of iClarities or the iSport earbuds or the over-ear ones that are fucking waterproof. Not playing around. Box Runner shoes are the best shoes in boxing. Ankle support, breathable. Good traction on these fuckers too. You can run outside, you can do CrossFit in them. Go to www.boxrunners.com. Get yourself a pair of high top Box Runner shoes. Last but not least, we're brought to you by Onnit. Let's go over to www.onnit.com and go over to the Onnit Academy and check out the Onnit 6. Get shredded for the summer with Onnit 6. And while you're there, pick yourself up a Keto Box. There's only a couple hundred of Keto Boxes left this month. So go over and subscribe to the Onnit Keto Box. Brendan Schaub and Aubrey Marcus put these things together, and they give you guys a sample of the best keto products that are on the market right now. But hopefully I didn't bore you guys to tears today. I don't know who I'm gonna have a guest on Thursday 100%, and we're not gonna try to fucking run this thing into the ground while I'm in fight camp. But guys, thanks for tuning in. That's the final shot.